The original PlayStation was a beautiful, chaotic breeding ground for some of the strangest, most unforgettable gaming experiments ever made. From cybernetic spiders to soda-sponsored superheroes, developers in the PS1 era threw the rulebook out the window and gave us pure, unfiltered creativity. These 15 games basically thought outside the box and lived outside of it, threw a party, and invited weirdness as the guest of honor. So buckle up as we dive into the 15 most unique PS1 games ever created. Hit that thumbs up, comment your favorite oddball title, and don't forget to subscribe for more retro madness. LSD Dream Emulator. If Salvador Dali ever coded a PlayStation game while on zero sleep and maximum coffee, this would be the result. You're dropped into a world that feels like your subconscious threw a rave, then forgot to clean up. There's no objective, no score, and no you win screen, just 10-minute-long first-person acid trips called dreams, where walls breathe, eyeballs float, and textures change like mood swings on rollerblades. One second you're in a peaceful Japanese town, next second you're staring down a giant baby's face in a rainbow-lit dungeon. It's like walking through a museum curated by your weirdest REM cycles. Gameplay? Walk into anything, walls, animals, questionable geometric horrors, and you'll teleport to a new dream. Do it enough times, and the environments mutate even more wildly. You've got static maps, but the textures go full Picasso mode the deeper you go, as if the PS1 itself is slowly losing its grip on reality. There's even a mysterious grey man who appears like a nightmare tax auditor and resets your progress if you touch him. You won't die, you'll just wake up, and then do it all again, chasing meaning in madness. It's not a game, it's a fever dream with loading screens. Paranoiascape. Imagine waking up inside a Metallica album cover, but instead of shredding guitars, you're trapped in a flesh-covered hellscape, playing first-person pinball with flaming skulls and demonic imps. That's the daily routine in this fever dream simulator, where you're apparently damned, doomed, and definitely disoriented. No setup, no plot exposition, just welcome to hell, here's your ball, now bounce. You're looking through the eyes of yourself, a ghost, a punished soul. Who knows? But in front of you are two skeletal sidekicks with paddle arms, smacking a fireball at walls made of meaty horror and disembodied eyes. It's grotesque. It's brilliant. It's something you'd expect to find playing in the background of a Rob Zombie music video. You're assaulting fleshy fortresses, blasting grotesque creatures into twitchy piles of goo, and occasionally getting swallowed by the environment itself. The ball reacts with the world like a possessed meteor, knocking down monstrous towers or triggering cinematic freakouts. It's pinball through the lens of a surrealist horror manga. And yes, it's absolutely real. You're not tripping unless you are, in which case this game is either your salvation or your permanent psychosis. Either way, welcome to the most disturbing arcade table ever made. Incredible Crisis. Ever wondered what it would feel like if WarioWare crashed headfirst into a Japanese sitcom during a family crisis? Incredible Crisis is exactly that, a wild, unpredictable roller coaster of mini-games, explosions, karaoke, alien teddy bears, and one poor Japanese family just trying to get home for grandma's birthday. You'll dance your stress away, dodge missiles, disarm laser pigs, escape praying mantises, and literally fight a kaiju-sized bear. all while the Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra blasts infectious horns in the background. It's absurd, it's glorious, and somehow, through all the chaos, it never stops being charming. Each chapter follows a different member of the Tanamatsuri family as they spiral through increasingly bonkers misadventures. From Dad Taneo's misadventures involving boulders, massages, and UFO diplomacy, to Mometsuko's grocery-based espionage and fighter jet heroism, to the kids battling bugs, aliens, and bear machines, every scenario is a fever dream wrapped in reflex-testing gameplay. Each minigame is a stress meter away from madness, and the only thing more unpredictable than the challenges is what you'll be doing next. Vib-Ribbon. So, you're a wireframe rabbit bouncing along an endless music line in a world made entirely of doodles. Welcome to rhythm gaming's weirdest fever dream, where the rules are simple: press buttons to not get obliterated by geometric chaos. Sounds easy, right? Not when your soundtrack is an unpredictable beat parade that turns this minimalist trip into a full-blown, twitchy test of timing. You've got 4 basic shapes to dodge: blocks, loops, waves, and pits, each demanding a precise button tap. Miss one and Vibri, your heroic, line-dancing rabbit, devolves into a frog. Miss more, and say hello to worm life. But nail those beats. You go super Vibri, glowing like a cosmic sketch bunny on a caffeine high. Here's the wild part. Once the game loads, you can remove the disc and throw in your favorite CD. It'll auto-generate a level based on your music. Want to rhythm dodge to Metallica, Britney Spears, or elevator jazz? Totally possible. And the results range from hilarious to downright impossible. It's both a rhythm game and a surreal musical journey, delivered with the artistic confidence of a kid's notebook doodle that somehow won Game of the Year in an alternate timeline. It's odd, it's brilliant, and it's got one of the catchiest You Did Good songs ever. Baroque. This one doesn't just go off the rails. It vaporizes the train, rewrites the tracks as metaphysical pain tubes, and asks you to eat flesh to stay alive. You're a mute, guilt-ridden amnesiac stumbling through a post-apocalyptic, sin-soaked wasteland, armed with only a bone gun and a past so dark, even your nightmares filed a restraining order. Your goal? Dive headfirst into the ever-mutating Neuro Tower to purify twisted soul creatures called meta-beings, while uncovering a fragmented, deeply symbolic story about God, guilt, siblings, distortion, and literally shooting emotional pain out of a rifle. Yeah, it's that kind of game. Gameplay is pure roguelike chaos. Randomized floors, tank controls in the original, a constantly draining vitality meter, and an inventory full of mystery meat and items that may or may not kill you when consumed. You'll die often, and each death doesn't mean game over, but story progress, which is either genius or madness, depending on how you handle philosophical suffering while being chewed on by mutated nightmares. There's flesh to eat, hearts to crunch, NPCs with grocery bag heads, and sorrow-soaked lore dumps hiding behind each doorway. It's bizarre, it's bleak, it's beautiful, and it's basically Silent Hill meets Nietzsche in a dungeon crawler. Tomba. Here, you're a pink-haired, jungle-raised wild child with no shirt, no shoes, and an unhealthy obsession with body-slamming pigs. Welcome to one of the most charmingly bonkers PS1 adventures ever. It all kicks off when some porky hooligans swipe your late grandfather's heirloom bracelet. And like any emotionally stable feral child, you immediately start biting pigs and flinging them across the landscape. But surprise, these are magical coma pigs working for 7 seriously swiny evil pigs who've cast weird curses all over the land. Forests go foggy, rivers vanish, towns get weird, and it's all up to you to fix it with sheer pig-wrangling enthusiasm. The gameplay's a glorious mashup of Metroidvania, RPG light and platforming chaos. You leap, climb, headbutt, and occasionally wield boomerangs or flails, but the real meat lies in the event system. 130 quirky side quests that unlock as you poke around the world. You'll earn adventure points, hunt mystical pig bags, and chuck villainous pigs into magical bags like a bacon-wielding ghostbuster. It's open-ended, colourful, weirdly heartfelt, and bursting with Saturday morning cartoon energy. Whoopee Camp basically made a platformer that says, hey, what if solving emotional trauma meant suplexing pigs? And honestly, it works. Kula World. Ever wanted to feel like a sentient beach ball stuck inside an MC Escher painting? Well, roll right into this gravity-bending brain buster that turns simple platforming into an existential tilt-a-whirl. You play as a shiny Kula beach ball, but don't let the inflatable vibes fool you. This game is all mind and muscle. Your mission? Navigate floating 3D mazes in space by grabbing keys to unlock exits, while avoiding lasers, spikes, lava, and your own terrible sense of direction. One wrong roll, and gravity flips you into the abyss like a gymnast with no floor. Things start chill with nice symmetrical blocks, but before long, you're bouncing across springs, teleporting across platforms, and desperately clinging to the edge of your last brain cell. Every new level feels like a physics professor tried to troll you with geometry homework. Bonus stages are unlocked by collecting fruit, and trust me, nothing says high stakes like fruit hunting while being chased by moving lasers. There's even a 2-player mode where you can time trial your way to friendship-ruining glory or play Copycat, a weird Simon Says for balls. It's spatial awareness on steroids, wrapped in neon aesthetics, and one of the PS1's most unexpectedly brilliant stress tests for your brain. Eggs of Steel. You know it's going to be a weird day when a steel mill is overtaken by coffee-powered killer robots because a guy tried to grab a donut. Welcome to Charlie's life, a blue-collar egg with a wrench, a caffeine-fueled disaster on his hands, and 43 levels of workplace safety violations to clean up. In this steel-pounding platformer, you play as Charlie Taconite, a round little dude in overalls who somehow became the last hope against rogue factory machinery, and an employee named Blast Furnace Bill who seriously needs HR intervention. Gameplay is classic 2.5D side-scrolling mayhem, with Charlie jumping, ducking and rolling through conveyor belts, gears, pipes and terrifying furnace room. You'll smack malfunctioning robots with your trusty wrench like you're trying to fix a vending machine that ate your lunch. The main goal? Collect time clocks and find keys to unlock areas, and eventually reach the factory's master reset switch before the whole place becomes a steampunk death trap. The game's tone is oddly comedic for something set in an industrial hellscape. Think Saturday morning cartoon meets OSHA's worst nightmare, with its quirky tone, surreal setting, and tight platforming. This is one egg-crackingly strange journey that'll have you respecting your local factory coffee pot a whole lot more.
He's burning up. Get the restraining belt.
Heart rate's in the stratosphere. Breathing's irregular.
We've got to calm him down. 24 units of aminoxin.
24 units of aminoxin.
Sentient. Imagine being dropped into a malfunctioning space station full of panicking scientists, political backstabbers, and enough radiation to make your teeth glow. Oh, and it's hurtling toward the sun. That's your Tuesday in this ambitious, brainy PS1 sci-fi thriller. You're Garrett Sharova, a guy sent to fix a little radiation issue on Space Station Icarus, only to discover the captain's dead, the leadership's a mess, and the whole orbit situation is melty. The moment you arrive, things spiral into chaos, and how you deal with it, who you talk to, and what you say literally changes everything. Gameplay plays out in first person with a real-time clock ticking, meaning your decisions don't just shape outcomes, they shape when and if stuff even happens. Characters have schedules, agendas, and sometimes grudges. You can explore crew quarters, unlock secret labs, and argue with AI, all while watching your choices butterfly effect their way toward one of 9 possible endings. There's no hand-holding. You've got to think fast, navigate morally murky conversations, and survive long enough to steer this burning tin can away from the sun's VIP lounge. It's part detective mystery, part space opera, and part social simulator, with a radiation-soaked edge that makes every minute feel like a countdown to disaster.
System shutdown initiated.
Stop, you fool!
Caution, system shutdown incomplete. Unable to disconnect my link.
Spider the video game. What's 8-legged, heavily armed, and has a PhD? That'd be you. After your brain gets blasted into a cyber spider in one of the weirdest, most oddly captivating platformers to ever crawl across the PS1, you're Dr. Michael Kelly, a scientist who just wanted to chill with his neural insect tech, until a shady villain from Microtech kicked in the lab door, zapped your body, and turned you into a bugged-out arachnid with missiles. Now it's time to get your squishy human body back, one cybernetic crawl at a time. The game plays in glorious 2.5D fashion with a creepy crawly twist. You skitter along walls, ceilings and vents like a tiny 8-legged ninja, blasting enemies with an arsenal that includes bombs, flamethrowers and, yes, even web-based weaponry. Each level is loaded with intricate platforming challenges and lethal machines out to smash your shiny metal thorax. Navigate haunted museums or toxic sewers. Every stage feels like an AI-coded fever dream, where insects wage war with laser drones. It's grimy, glitchy, and gorgeously grotesque. But underneath all the madness is a surprisingly tight platformer with slick controls and a bizarrely engaging revenge tale. It's Kafka by way of James Cameron, and somehow it works. Koudelka. It's 1898. The setting is a cursed Welsh monastery, and you, Koudelka Iasant, have just walked into a full-blown ghost and flesh monster crisis that makes Resident Evil look like a garden tour. A psychic with a tragic past and serious goth energy, Koudelka finds herself trapped with a roguish adventurer and a tightly wound bishop in a mansion where corpses whisper secrets and resurrection rituals have gone very wrong. Somewhere between haunted history and forbidden Celtic necromancy, you'll uncover what happens when love, grief, and immortality get mixed into a dark magic blender and left to rot for a century. Gameplay swings between atmospheric puzzle solving and slow, strategic, grid-based battles. Imagine if Final Fantasy Tactics put on a Victorian cloak and started summoning demons instead of dragons. Combat is turn-based, inventory space is limited, weapons can break, and healing comes from spells or the occasional medicinal pick-me-up. Each battle feels tense and weighty, especially when you realize that literally everyone, including your own party, is emotionally broken in very dramatic ways. It laid the groundwork for Shadow Hearts and remains one of the PlayStation's most unusual atmospheric adventures. Think Shakespeare with a shotgun and a seance.
Hey, let's start the game!
PepsiMan. What do you get when you mix the high-octane urgency of Temple Run, the branding enthusiasm of a corporate mascot, and the unpouring commitment to fizzy refreshment? You get PepsiMan, a game where your mission isn't to save the world, it's to save thirsty people with Pepsi. You control a chrome-bodied superhero whose one and only superpower is delivering cans of soda like he's on a personal vendetta against dehydration. No stopping, no slowing down. He's always sprinting, dodging traffic, smashing through living rooms and getting chased by giant soda cans. You know, the usual hero stuff. PepsiMan automatically bolts forward, and it's up to you to time jumps, dashes, and dramatic dive rolls to avoid vending machines, moving trucks, construction sites, and other highly Pepsi-themed hazards. You'll barrel through cities, deserts, and even inside a house where your only crime is not knocking first. Occasionally things get wild, like your controls being flipped while trapped in a barrel, or skateboarding into traffic at Mach speed. Between levels, you're treated to live-action footage of a dude in a Pepsi-stained room watching your exploits and chugging soda like it's medicine. It's cheap, it's absurd, it's glorious. PepsiMan is a sugar-fueled fever dream, with product placement so shameless it loops back around to genius. Skullmonkeys. Ever wanted to play a platformer that looks like it was moulded in a basement by a deranged stop-motion artist with a funky record collection? Say hello to Skullmonkey, where everything, literally everything, is made of clay, including your weirdly lovable hero Clayman, an army of angry skull-headed goons, and the entire handcrafted fever dream planet they all tumble around on. The evil clog is back, still bitter, still clay, and now he's building something ominously called Evil Engine Number 9, because why just hold a grudge when you can blow up the universe? Gameplay drops the point and click of the Neverhood and goes full side-scrolling, old-school platforming. You run, duck, and leap across bizarre terrain, collecting clay balls like a compulsive hoarder at a Play-Doh factory. Weapons range from bananas to exploding rats, seriously, and enemies explode in a puff of clay when stomped or shot. Secret levels add a hit of psychedelic lounge music and visual nonsense, just in case you weren't already questioning your reality. While gameplay is standard hop and bop fare, the real flavour is in the world building, grotesque clay enemies, absurd boss fights, and a soundtrack by Terry Scott Taylor that feels like surf rock for Martians. It's equal parts delightful and disturbing, like Saturday morning cartoons animated by a mad sculptor. Monster Rancher. What do you get when you cross archaeology, divine genetics, and a love for bizarre pet training? Monster Rancher, the cult classic that let you raise, battle and bond with everything from adorable bunnies to sentient eyeballs. In a world where monsters were once sealed away in ancient disc stones, because apparently God went full Pokemon collector, humanity eventually rediscovers these relics and unleashes a monster-raising renaissance. Naturally, that leads to Monster Battle Tournament, because when has rediscovering ancient power not ended in a combat sport? Gameplay is a beautiful mix of RPG and life sim. You play as a young monster breeder, tasked with training your creature from cute baby blob to tournament champion. You'll feed it, praise it, scold it, send it to do jobs for money or stats, and even cry when it dies of old age. Every decision affects its growth, stats, loyalty, and how likely it is to suplex someone mid-battle. The battles themselves are tactical, semi-automated fights where timing and monster behavior matter as much as raw numbers. But the most legendary gimmick, you could pop in random CDs into your PlayStation, and the game would summon a unique monster from the disc data, slip in a Backstreet Boys album, boom, giant dragon. It's monster raising with mystical vibes and late 90s disc drive sorcery, and it was absolutely unforgettable. So that's 15 gloriously strange PS1 games that dared to be different in an industry obsessed with mascots and polygons. Some were misunderstood, others became cult classics, and all of them showed that the PlayStation wasn't afraid to take wild creative swings. Whether you love them, hate them, or still don't quite understand them, you can't deny their quirkiness. So next time you're scrolling through your emulator or dusting off your old discs, maybe give one of these weird wonders another spin. Drop a comment with the weirdest game you ever played and hit subscribe for more deep dives into gaming's greatest oddities.